What's up, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It is Gabby Trades here, and welcome back to the channel. Now, we have a trigger of potential VIX spike. Remember how we spoke about the VIX being at specific levels at which it could bounce? Well, it's finally happening. For that to be triggered, though, usually we need some sort of like a big event unfolding in front of us, and we seem to have that at the moment. But before we jump in, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell so you always get notified when I get live here with you to get the price breakdowns on a daily basis. Now, with the first news that I want to start with, it's not that great, by the way. Over here, so basically, we had a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula on 29th of July, between 29th and 30th, 2025, triggering a widespread tsunami alerts all across the Pacific, you guys. Now, all of the regions that are affected, apparently, like Japan, Hawaii, Alaska, Western US coast, California. Now, it's too many countries that are actually threatened by this right now. So Hawaii, in particularly, parts of California, they have been warned specifically that there might be waves that are up to like 2 meters, so like 5 feet. So people are actually starting to evacuate these areas. Now, if you look at the empirical studies and like see how all of these natural disasters are causing, there is always like some sort of a drop in the indices, like not massive, but like you can get 2 to 3% drop over a 2-day period, for example, in that window of time. But like effects usually are way longer and like they can be super long lasting, more than like even the man-made events, right? So sentiment for that is volatility, right? So such events trigger uncertainty, and especially like in the regional markets that this thing is happening, which is going to be Japan, and all the Pacific trade centers, obviously. So what are you looking at, right? You're looking at shipping, ports, insurers, energy infrastructure, coastal real estate. All of these things could be specifically sensitive in that environment. Now, imagine a lot of people are short-term trading that, right? So there is going to be obviously historically involving people that would be shorting the stock indices on the day of the disaster, holding for like a couple of days, trying to capture like abnormal negative returns on this sort of events. So, you know, we have crazy week busy with so many news. Right? We have the Feds as well. Now, on top of that, tsunami and all of the news week, like this week is super crazy. Now, we know that the Fed is expected to keep the rate cuts unchanged at the meeting. So we have, according to the Fed to watch, it's above 97% now, almost 98% chance of no rate cuts. But we know that. But all eyes are going to be on Fed Chairman Powell and the press conference that he's going to hold, where everyone and traders are going to be looking for a hint for a rate cut in September. I personally, with my bias, you know what I think, you guys, I think there will be rate cuts in September or October. But what's important for the press conference is for us to watch for signals, right? Is the chairman going to be like dovish, right? If he's dovish, that is going to signal future potential cuts, and then market could rally short term out of nowhere. But if he remains hawkish, which means basically worried about inflation, we could expect potential downside for stocks and for crypto as well. So yeah, he's very steady, but like, you know, we're always looking for surprise in a tone that could bring high volatility across the markets. And I feel like Trump has been pressuring the guy so much that you never know, like he might say something out of the order just because he wants to get back. Do you know what I mean? Which is going to be crazy. But another news that we have is obviously the GDP report, which is very important and is expected to bring growth, right? And the interesting thing is that the growth is not going to come from economy boosting, right? We're not boosting economically. We know that. We're drawn in debt, like there is a huge debt crisis, but it's going to be because the trade deficit shrank in the last, shrank. Still need to make them shrank in the last quarter. Oh my God, why is such a dumb ASS? But anyway, so, you know, if that's the case, though, if we do have that growth, it's going to be fake, right? At the end of the day, it's not going to be like a real thing. It's going to be a fake GDP growth that could potentially weigh on the sentiment. So yeah, we are expecting good numbers for the headlines, but may not be bullish once you sort of go into the fine print and read into the fine print of that. So again, in the midst of earnings season, right? We have Meta, Microsoft, Robinhood. All of these are going to give us earnings. So that's very important. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because these companies can drive indices, right? So they can drive indices such as the NASDAQ, right? For example, if Meta or Apple have a bad print, that whole thing is going to bring that NASDAQ down as well. So we need to be watching very carefully for the earnings, and earnings season is something important that we all should be looking at. All right, moving on. Bitcoin. First of all, let's say hi to the chat. Good morning, dobro utro. Yes, you guys like the video. If you haven't, unfortunately, we can't stream on X because my Wi-Fi is being funny again. Good morning, Double Aron. Good morning, Mark Bass, everyone. KTT. Yes, get the likes up for Gabby. I like that. All right, cool. So we're gonna be looking at over here at Bitcoin, of course, starting with that. Now, so for me, right, the range is getting extremely tight. Now, when you see a range that's getting tight like this, you know that there's going to be explosion eventually in the markets. Now, the thing about this ranges, right? If you have been watching me for quite a bit, maybe months or whatever, you know that we had the sentiment coming in all the way from April saying that July is going to be a range bound month that is going to start. And then we also said that that is when the altcoins are going to pick up momentum because Bitcoin is expected to start ranging. Now it's finally... Hello, Jantine. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I overslept a little bit this morning, but hey ho. So basically we said that Jantine is quite new with us. She hasn't been with us for months, but yeah, Jantine, we've been basically discussing for a long time that from July we're expecting a range bound situation to occur here on Bitcoin, and this is what is unfolding in front of our eyes right now. So basically, from here on, we expect it for alts to run. So alts are running a little bit. Now we have a very heavy news week. Now, usually when I used to trade the traditional markets in a heavy week like that, I will trade very small size and I will try to be very, very careful with my positions because you never know what the markets could exactly bring you since it's mostly news driven, right? So from here, we're in a very tight range. Everything has been playing out by plan so far, but we're still in the range and we have to respect the range until we exit the range, right? So yesterday, I was hoping for the markets to come up above 120K, but that didn't happen, right? We're showing still weakness, right? But yesterday, that's exactly what we discussed as a potential, is that price trades below true week open over here, which is going to be a good case for us to enter into buys, because for now, the bias is still bullish according to the model. We're following the model, right? So it should be still bullish. Now, the slight problem with that is that price continuously rejects from the 0.5. Now, that should be raising the red flags for us as well, because when we have price rejecting from the 0.5 like this in a tight range, it's pretty much showing us that it wants to exit to the downside one more time, because we already did it when the range was ending down here. So we might have to do it yet again with the range low being 114,667K for Bitcoin, right? So if that's the case, let it be. We have to be prepared both sides. But the buying opportunity yesterday was, like we said, below the true week open down here, right? And price was trading below it yesterday over here with this small wicks down here. So that was potentially a buy, but again, price rejected from the 0.5, and we know that 0.5 is always a take profit area anyways, especially in a tight range like that. So now we came back again below the true week open in a bullish bias. We tapped into a 4-hour fair value gap, so now that's considered a buy as well. Looking at the 4-hour strategy, it looks bullish for now, but the target is very, very low. And you tend to see things like that because you have so many fractal candles developed. I see a small minion coming here that's going to cause trouble. Hold on. No. 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 She wants to eat the plant. Wait. Okay, I have to move like that, and you guys watch the camera and let me know, because I'll be focusing on the charts if she jumps on the plant, because we need to move her away. So anyway, right, so for now we have the bullish bias. We're trading below true week open. We have the true day open exactly within the true week open as well. So that is not giving particular bias for the day. In fact, it's showing that price is very indecisive today. So for today, all we can do is hope that the 4-hour target is going to be hit again, and we need to be prepared that price might reject from the 0.5 again. And if that happens, if that volatility comes today and we get a rejection from the 0.5 again, we should be expecting at this point for price to drop below a sub-zero down here, which might be just another tap into the CME over here to retest it one more time, right, to then bounce from it again. So that's a very, very possible scenario. Now, until the CME gap is completely breached, I am maintaining my bullish bias continuously, right? Until we breach that gap, I'm maintaining the bullish bias. Don't forget, we're closing the month, right? We're at the last days of this month, July. So prepare, because we're going to be opening a new candle for the month. And also we need to be prepared that we're going to be ranging, right? The range that we unfold now in July is going to be holding, you guys, all the way. So it's going to be July, September, July, August, September, right? So we have 3 months, right? We have 3 months of ranging activity, and that range could expand up to like 30% to the upside and to the downside as well. So we need to be prepared for these moves. Firstly, July is showing us the range right now, but August should come in with a bigger move. So now August, essentially, according to my strategy, I don't look at August in the first week, right? August in the first week doesn't mean anything for me, right? I start looking at August from the second week onwards, right? I want for the first week to unfold. The same thing I do with the Monday opening, right? When Monday opens, I'm like, I wait for Monday to unfold, and then I treat the monthly openings in the exact same way. So the first week of August for me is going to be an extension in a way to July, so that doesn't come into my counting. So as you can see over here, we have 11th of August. So all this area over here is going to be price just trapping us, right? So we still have around 12 days over here of that mess. I can see you. So yeah, that's the thing. In August, I am expecting August to come with a bigger move, you guys. So yeah, this is what we're looking for, but that's what we're here together for. And also make sure, you guys, so if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. But if you're not new here and you've been here, what you can do is come to the live section over here, right? Click more in the description box, and you can grab most importantly, you can get on the wait list for my RTM model trading course. And then you can also buy my trading indicators, which are very affordable and helpful. A lot of people in the chat box are going to say good things about it because a lot of people are using them. And of course, you can join Discord at the same time down here with like-minded traders. Very good community, right? Very good and trustworthy community, which is what I appreciate. And a lot of people, you know, are going and then they come back because they understand that this is a good community. Yes, hit the like. Thank you, Dottie. All right, so moving on, you guys, do you understand? So right now, everyone is going to be looking at the month finishing, what is it, tomorrow? We have 31st. Yes. So everyone is going to think, okay, Friday, it is it. We open the new month and that's it. It's not exactly how things are unfolding when you're looking at the charts. You need to wait for the second week of the month, right? To then look for the bigger moves. This is what people get wrong most of the time. So here is some alpha here for you. But anyways, so we've been in, this is the month of July, right? As you can see, again, counting from the second week of July, it's not a coincidence that exactly from the second week of July, we start getting into the range, because that's what the algorithm has decided for the month of July on many different levels. Like we said, on a yearly level, on a monthly level, it is all making sense together. So anyways, here we have the tide range, and it's going to last for a little bit, right? Up until the beginning of the second week of August. So right now, because this week is very, very heavy on news, everyone is thinking that this week is going to provide the big moves, but I'm not entirely sure of that. I think that we're still going to maintain that range in some shape or form. So essentially what I'm looking for is to sell from around the zone 121,436 to buy around the zone 116. 699. This is all 0.236, 0.786. And if price is trading and is respecting the 0.5 over here, you do need to understand that I'll be looking for price to exit against sub-zero levels and test for the second time the CME gap, which I'm comfortable with. I'm totally comfortable with price testing out the CME gap a second time. Right? But if it happens again and again, then I would be thinking, all right, this CME gap is not going to hold. So we need to see prices sub the CME gap, which could potentially hurt alts a little bit more than we're comfortable with. Anyway, whatever happens when the second week of April comes along, we need to be prepared for swing moves, right? We need to be prepared for swing moves, whether price is going to swing from whatever it is and make a new all-time high. We need to be looking at all the areas that we have marked up here for potential price reaction, right? So first resistance is at 123.062. That's not even the all-time high, right? So price could create here sort of a double top situation and then reject from it. Then we have 125, 135, and 127. Like all of this area, we're looking at very, very carefully. These areas could be wicked as well, right? They could be wicked massively. If a volatility is heading here, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Yes, you guys, welcome. Make sure you like the video. Samir J is always apologizing that he's late. There is no reason for you, mate. You guys are all welcome here. You're all my buddies. You know that. So for anyone that's new here and just joined, we were trying to explain the yearly cycle for Bitcoin, the monthly cycle for Bitcoin, and what does that mean for us, and the bias that we're still going to be maintaining the range between 1146 and 123 for at least one more week on end. So this is it. So what can we do? The best thing we can do is to trade the range the way it is, because we are range bound and we have to respect the range. Respect the range. All right. In terms of potential areas, one more time, we can retest the buy breaker block down here in case we start dropping. But when that when the events of dropping start unfolding, that's when we're going to be looking at these zones and making more sense of that. All right, now let's move on to Ethereum. Again, same thing. It is very interesting and hard to trade when you are finding yourself, and that's what I said earlier in Discord. I congratulated everyone that has managed to extract from these markets in the last few days, because it is very, very hard to trade in between levels. Essentially, you're having a sell setup on a higher time frame for Ethereum over here between 3,900 and 4,100 approximately, right? And then you have a buy zone in between 3,700 and 3,524. So essentially range, but not range, right? So this is pretty much the last price leg you're dealing with. If you're looking at Ethereum right now and you squeeze it, you can see that the last range you're dealing with is this. It is not that much, right? It's not that much. Price is very insecure. This is the range here, you know, 11%. This is where price is being contained right now, in between that 11% swing high and swing low. So when do you think, Jantine, when do you think alts will go more like winter time, because BTC need maybe load up money for move up? So Bitcoin dominance needs to drop again to start with. All right, so you know, it's going to be the period in between the massive range that is going to unfold up, in my opinion, right? This is according to my bias, that the range is going to unfold all the way until September, and that range is going to have big swings. So with all the big swings, alts are gonna drop, alts are gonna come up. But it was important that we catch the first move, right, in July, the first move up. I know that a lot of the gains have been erased, especially for the late buyers, but that's why it was important to catch the bottom down there. So then you're looking at, in my opinion, October, November, and December for price to go absolutely parabolic. I think that's when Bitcoin is going to get higher again. It's all going to depend on Bitcoin dominance to see how these things work at that time. But I'm definitely expecting for Bitcoin to make another high, whether it's going to be a new all-time high or whatever, in the period between October and December. Coming into January, it's going to be like a slowdown, play with us. And then in February, I'm expecting where everything is just going to end completely and abruptly for crypto, right? For the bull market, obviously, for the bull season. So yeah, Ethereum trading in between levels. The range is 11% that we're currently dealing in between. The 4-hour strategy is showing us that price wants to come again and retest that area. So again, in a case of hello, Missy, hello. Okay, I think she's gonna come on the camera now. In case of a move to the upside, when we get it once again over here, we're now looking at Ethereum coming in the sell zone up here a little bit more deeper. So that's gonna be the bias over here, because this sell zone is going to be valid, in my opinion. Hello, Chris, for some time, right? For some time. Okay, we have a terrorist here. So this is what I'm looking at, right? The buy zone coming up into from the buy zone, price traveling deeper into the sell zone, and then again a big buy zone which buys could occur from, right? And if we start getting drops on Ethereum, it could be quite deep, because we have to open the weekly for that, right? We have to open the weekly for that, because we have lots of imbalances that are unfilled for Ethereum. And you know, I'm sorry to be the news bringer to you guys, but it could happen, right? It could happen. The good thing is we have a massive buy breaker block over here, so that could be holding to start with. We have daily supports, we have weekly supports over here, 3368, 3524 was already tapped in. So yeah, this is the stuff that we're looking at right now. Let's have a look at ETH BTC. ETH BTC over here. Yeah, showing a bit of strength into a buy zone, just like all the alts right now. To be fair, they're looking at they're trying to tell us, okay, we're at levels, right? We're at levels, and it's pretty much now or we're going to drop, right? Solana is already dropping today almost 0.6%, 0.65 on the day from a sell zone. So, you know, maybe retest of the buy breaker block. Is it going to hold? If it's not going to hold, then I'm definitely looking for price to drop. You guys know where, right? Then I'm looking for 162 levels on Sol. If all goes to hell, I think 162, 155 are the areas that we're going to look out for. XRP, again, in between levels, in between sell zone, in between buy zone, everything is in between right now. So what we need to look out for is for potential price to spike again up, right? And then potentially drop one more time to a deeper zone, because that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin, right? That's what we're looking out for Bitcoin. Unfortunately, we are in this range, so it's going to be like that. Even if we get price up to 121, is going to be still a sell, in my opinion. Yeah, gold has been crazy. Actually, gold gapped up on the day. I think it was because of the tsunami, you know, stuff that were going on. Dottie knows yesterday I was long gold for a little bit, right? Where was I long? I think I was long down here. Yeah, so basically I was long, but of course, before market closed, I closed my position somewhere around 333. A very tiny gain because I was not exposed at all. In fact, I wanted to short because my bias was short for gold, providing that we didn't have any crazy events. But unfortunately, we did have the big tsunami thing. So as you can see, the gap for gold is absolutely insane, over 1%. Yeah, we have almost 1.4% gap up on the day for gold. So you can imagine, yeah, profit is profit for sure, especially in a conditions like this week. Any profit you guys manage to take out of the market, honestly, like it's going to be a big thing. So we're looking at NQ and Nasdaq. So one thing I don't like about this is the divergence that we're creating over here. Actually, let's come like that. Let's come like that, and we need to open ES over here. So that's ES on the 4-hour, and we have Nasdaq on the 5-hour. So observe what's happening over here. Observe what's happening, right? Look at the situation over here. So first of all, Nasdaq is making a higher high. Is that clear? Nasdaq is making a higher high over here. S&P 500 is making a lower low. Hello, Sammy. Now, this is very important when you look at something like that. When something like that starts happening on the charts, such as the 4-hour time frame, this is starting to develop a bearish bias, right? This is starting to develop a bearish bias. And out of both, now Nasdaq is not going to be my preferred short trade. Nasdaq should be Nasdaq shouldn't be the one that we're trading over here. You need to be focusing on S&P 500, because S&P 500 was the one that created the lower low down here. So creating that lower low, this is showing that S&P 500 is in extreme weak position right now. So Nasdaq, right, could drop, let's say, I don't know, Nasdaq could drop like 1%. Let's say Nasdaq drops 1%, right? S&P 500 is going to drop 1.5, 1.2, 2%. You know what I mean? So if Nasdaq drops 1%, expect for S&P 500 to be dropping more than 1%, right? So the short returns on S&P are going to be better than the short opportunities on Nasdaq, Does that make sense? This is S&P, this is Nasdaq. So Nasdaq makes a higher high, S&P 500 makes a lower low. Correlated assets, this is what we look for. Does that make sense? So this is what we look for, right? Even in Ethereum, even in Bitcoin, you need to be looking at this sort of divergences when they occur. So that's bearish, right? That's bearish. And we know what happens to the overall market when the TradFi starts pulling back, right? So according to MMA, second one, look for shorts. Are you referring to gold? Yes. By the way, you guys, if you haven't joined Discord, again, you can go just below the description box of the video down here, which I don't know where it went. It should be here. And you can join Discord because we have a professional FX trader giving lectures 3 times a week, right? This is the link down here. Join Discord. That's how you can come. So in accordance to Hello CryptoFart, in accordance to MMA's strategy on S&P 500, potentially, yes, I think you're absolutely right. So if you're looking at the 4-hour time frame and you want to trade like his strategy, you would want to be short like within this fair value gap over here. Within this fair value gap. Let's pull out the indicators. This one, right over here. That's according to his strategy. According to my strategy, you would want to be short from the sell zone, right? From the sell zone over here, which is pretty much the same thing, right? You have the sell zone over here. You have price creating an imbalance. You're generating currently right now internal liquidity within that imbalance, right? So this is going to be inducement that's created for people to go long, right? Or short, whatever. Traders are going to be induced both sides over here, and then price is going to swing, take everyone that was early short, and take everyone that tried to long over here. So that essentially is what we're looking at down here, right? And then for targets, you want to be on a higher time frame, right? You want to move the indicators. By the way, again, drop down in the description box. You can get the indicators, very cheap, super useful. You want to go on a higher time frame and see what are the zones on a higher time frame. So you're seeing for S&P 500, the first buy zone is down here, right? You're looking at the buy zone down here. This is it, the first buy zone. So let's have a look. How many percentages would that be if price retraces? So that would be like maybe 50% of the buy zone down here, 1.5. So like we said, if Nasdaq drops like 1%, this thing could drop like 1.5, 1.6, a little bit more, right? So that's pretty much how I look at the charts and how I'm trying to help you guys with all these things. Let me know if you want to look at any alts. Hurry up, right? Let me know if you have any alts. If you want to look at, we looked at XRP. Like I'm trying to keep sane right now, you know, with all the stuff that are happening. Eco is saying that INA is going to be a good buy. By the way, welcome Eco. I haven't seen you here before, mate. Let's have a look at INA. Yeah, INA potentially is not bad, you know. Let's have a look over here. We do have a zone, right? We do have a zone down here. In fact, several zones. I think so. First, like around 0.5, 0.51, 0.5, I think is a good point of reference over here. Good point of reference. And then another good point of reference in case we drop. Yes, it's Itsuko. Oh, sorry. Yes. Oh my god. Yes, I couldn't really understand what it was, but anyway, so another potential point of reference, of course, is going to be 0.2, and then even deeper zone of reference over here for INA is going to be 0.37, right? All of these zones down here. This is in case we get a little bit of a deeper retrace, right? From here to down to the first buy zone is like 10%. And if in case we start getting larger pullbacks, and then we are looking at, you know, 20, 25, even 30. But there is zones of support, so that's why it's gonna be alright. Sorry, it's go. Jasmine, let's have a look at Jasmine. By the way, I know who likes Jasmine. Wasn't that Jasmine is I think Diamond Eyes is a Jasmine fan. Oof. Not liking what I see here on a daily time frame. Well, generally I like it, right? It's not a coin that I hate, but it's like, you know, the daily time frame liquidity down here is something that I don't want to see. It's gonna give me X, right? That's 33% away from here. Now, this is just showing you that really it could happen, right? That the market could pull back quite substantially. But the good thing is that we have the liquidity here in the daily time frame, 0.06 on Jasmine, right? So even from the massive support right now, that's 260%, not bad. But looking at Jasmine together with all the altcoins, right? They're all at a level right now. So look at that, right? Daily support, double daily support. These are levels that have not just been created right now, right? So for Jasmine, we're looking at levels created at August 2024, right? August 2024, and one level down here, is it from 16 March? I can't really tell. Over here, no. So that's from August 2024, and that's from October 2024. So basically these were the areas, remember? So October, we had the run on alts last year in October, remember, you guys? So pretty much it's a major area, and then we had a drop way below, and then we've been sort of like ranging with big swings around the area that we exploded from. And right now we're finding ourselves exactly tapping into that area once again. So does that provide an opportunity for price to drop a little bit? Yes. You know, we have to be realists. It's absolutely possible. See, you have fair value gaps over here. You have liquidity down here. So it's pretty much, if you have the balls, right? If you have the guts, the balls, you get involved right now on low leverage, right? Because you are essentially at a support level, hoping for price to start breaking some levels. But again, this could be such a tricky situation that from here you start dropping again and again and again, and you swing again, because that's how these things are going to work for the next few months, couple months. In your opinion, do you think we will see an alt season this cycle, or alts are cooked? So yeah, this is what, hello Flying Hamster, hi Dark Punk, you guys, make sure you like the video. We're gonna look at ZRX. So this is what I think, right? And I said that earlier in the live stream. Right now is pretty much all we're going to get up until now, till October, right? So it's going to be sort of like a trader's market. It is great if you manage to catch the bottom back in beginning of in June, somewhere, end of June, whatever. It was great because that's what we were preparing for. That July is going to bring the first leg up, and then the range situation is going to bring drop downs, but we want to see outs holding essentially, and then yeah, it's just going to unfold up until the range situation is going to unfold up until like end of September, and then October we should be seeing another run on Bitcoin. But I'm not sure if alts are going to do that many gains. So it's pretty much the summer into the autumn that I'm looking at for this developing at all. So yeah, ZRX, dudes and Judases. What is that? Have we looked at that before? I don't think I've looked at that actually. Well, first observation is not bad. Daily time frame liquidity over here at the 0.91, so that's good to see. Let's have a look on the weekly real quick. Okay, so weekly Sort of, but not really, right? Sort of, but not really, because yeah, like last year the rally over here was not too strong. Essentially, you created another low over here. So you're not going to be looking at a massive returns over here, I don't think. But yeah, with the help of my indicators, again, you guys go below the video down here and you can find my trading indicators. You can get on the course wait list, right? It's just a wait list. You can join Discord, all these things under the description box, and make sure you like the video. We have 27 likes and 50 people watching. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. So anyways, you could potentially see 0.9 up to $1, depending on how much the liquidity is being swept over here. You could potentially see $1, but I won't be hoping for more than that in this run. It's good that it's kind of holding support and is breaking support and now retesting. So you could be trying to find support again around 0.22 over here, 0.226. And if you want to be a little bit more brave, then you would have to wait for price to drop from this range, right? If price starts dropping like everywhere, if alt starts dropping, then you're potentially looking at a way deeper retrace than this, smashing to the downside and then distributing up, right? So this is potential for altcoins that are not particularly strong, especially such as this one, right? Such as this one. ARB. Where's my ARB? Where are all my coins? Did I just delete them from the list? Yeah, ARB, not great, right? So it already exited the range to the downside. So it's just, I'm so not trusting that anymore, you know? It's just one of these things. It's just one of these things. Not anymore. Not anymore. So all good, all said and done. It's great, but now this is the new range that we trade, right? This is the price range. So you know, over here, and it is a bearish price range. It is a bearish price range, and I don't know how well this thing can do at all. Like, in fact, I have no idea what it could do. As far as I'm concerned, this is a bearish range, and the best thing I can get out of this bearish range is $1, right? That's the best I can get. If I'm lucky, right? If I'm lucky, because in a bearish range, your first assumption is going to be that 0.5 is going to reject. So, you know, that's 75%. I mean, still not bad, you know what I mean? But yeah, you can, in my opinion, you can absolutely forget for, like, you know, $2 and $2.4 and above $2.4, stuff like that, like, according to my strategy, right? So yeah, that's how I review over here. See, okay, so the good thing is that we have, okay, on a daily time frame, you might be seeing some signs here. 1.22, right? Let's have a look if we have something above that. No, 1.22 could be possible, but like, if I'm trading this, let's say, I'll definitely make sure that I exit. If I'm in a trade down here, I'll definitely make sure that I'm exiting 80% of my position at the 0.786, and then just leave 20% runner for this liquidity, and potentially maybe for this resistance up here, right? If we perform really, really well, that's only in a case we perform really, really well. Sonic, oh, that was X, that was S, sorry, yeah. S, let's have a look. Well, a lot of people have been quite positive on that, right? A lot of people have been quite positive, yet it's performed super bad. So yeah, not great. Lower hopes. My hopes are not great on this at all, especially because it's one of the weak altcoins. So probably that's why I don't look at it anymore. Yeah, from here you pretty much have a potential. If you're looking at this V shape over here, okay, you can think, all right, the V shape is here. Maybe I'm going to trade the V shape, right? Maybe I'm going to trade the V shape. So then you're looking at this level over here for potentially for price to get to that level down here, to find some support within this area. That would be an interesting thing, right? It is going to also essentially retest a breaker block over here. So not too bad if it happens, right? Where's my drawing tool over here? Oh yeah, it's here. So this is going to be your buy breaker block down here, right? So essentially you have several confluences in that area for price to hold. For you have the V shape, right? You have a little bit of range accumulation of some liquidity down here, not too bad, you know, and price is retracing pretty much the whole move. So I'll be probably waiting for that, right? But still it's going to be very, very optimistic if I do that, because it's a bearish chart. And if we're really developing a range, like you really want for this price to kind of like extend from the area, break some resistances such as this one over here, you know, to gain more confidence on the coin, because right now it really could create a lower low as far as I'm concerned, right? The V shape might not hold at all, right? If you're very, very positive, you're going to be like, okay, I'm very positive, I'm bullish. That's for you guys to determine, right? How bullish you are on a certain project or whatever. But if you are, yeah, I'll be definitely looking at this area. If not, potential lower low, and that lower low now is into the abyss of nothing. So I don't know, you know, I don't know. You're more than welcome, you guys. Again, like the video if you haven't. Let's see how many likes we have here. I'm tracking the likes. 27 likes. I need to refresh. Let's hope there are more. Let's hope there are more. 39 likes. Okay, let's go. But we have 61 people watching. It's not fair. It's not fair. More likes, more likes. You guys, what was I gonna say? Okay, we had ZRX, we have blah blah blah. Nobody's chatting in the chat box, so I think we're gonna call it a day. You ungrateful people. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Love you guys so much. All right, cool. So we're gonna call it a day, and I'll see you guys. I don't know, Bear. I don't know who's slacking. You tell me. You tell me who's the slacker here. But yeah, very unfortunate event with the tsunami. VIX, by the way, oh, we didn't look at the VIX. We didn't look at the VIX. Hold on, let's look at the VIX real quick. Let's look at the VIX. Yeah, I mean, see, this is pretty much, I don't know. I honestly, you guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like tsunamis, munamis, whatever happens, somehow it happens always at a level. Like, is this a mind game? Am I just getting, you know, I tend to like overthink stuff a lot. Like I'm a big overthinker, that's for sure. But, you know, I mean, thank God I stay away from like conspiracy theory videos and stuff like that. I feel like I'm gonna be like, I'm so primed for that, you know, I'm so primed for that. But anyway, VIX is definitely at levels, volatility spiking up due to the tsunami. Obviously, they're not gonna, it's not blamed on anything else. Tsunami is happening. I don't even know if it's like a real tsunami, you know, until we see some waves and stuff like that. I don't know if it's going to be even a real tsunami, but let's not laugh, you know, it might be really, really bad. So obviously we don't want that, right? We want everyone to keep their houses. We want people to be fine. But yeah, I mean, damn. And then gold gap up. Like, give gold a break. Give gold a break. Honestly, give gold a break. Because can we just take the liquidity? Can we at least take the daily liquidity? No. Gold is going to pump, because that is the only way we're going to survive our debt crisis. Right? Whatever. It is what it is. They're using it. Yeah, potentially Octavian. Like, honestly, I won't be surprised at all if that's the case. if that's the case over here. But I mean, yeah, I woke up and I saw it. I'm like, oh, right now, really, it seems a bit too convenient. It seems a bit too convenient. You know what I mean? Like, but again, like, when it starts to rain, it pours, right? That's what they say. When it rains, it pours. So we need to be prepared for that. It's just, I think, how the natural world works. So yeah, but anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow for our last live stream. And we're also going to be tracking everything on Discord. Again, go in the description box down below, like the video if you haven't. Wait, I'm trying these things here. No, not working again. Damn it. You guys are more than welcome. Yeah, I'll see you on Discord, because we're going to track the Fed, and we're going to track all of the events that are happening. So yeah, make sure you join if you haven't. I'll see you soon, right? I'll see you tomorrow.